Have you ever walked into a room in your own home and felt heavier? Not because of physical weight, but because of what surrounds you? Chairs nobody uses, tables too large for the space, closets bursting with clothes from past decades. You might think it's harmless, just stuff. But the truth is, as we grow older, these things begin to speak to us. Not with words, but with tension, inconvenience, and emotional weight. It's subtle. You might feel it when you stub your toe on a table leg, or when you spend 20 minutes looking for a shirt and still don't find one that feels right. The clutter around us begins to clutter our minds. And if you're approaching 70, this isn't just about tidying up. This is about your well-being, your clarity, and your freedom. Because what you hold on to physically often reflects what you're holding on to emotionally. And while letting go might seem like loss, it's actually the first step toward peace. Across this journey, we'll explore 6 major categories of clutter that should be cleared before turning 70. Along the way, you'll hear stories from real people, seniors like you, who found themselves weighed down until they finally made the decision to let go. And what happened next? They didn't just gain space, they gained life. Let's begin with furniture. The kind that sits silently in corners, along walls, or under stacks of books, collecting dust and slowly stealing your space, your energy, and your ease. Meet David. He's 75, a retired architect who spent decades designing beautiful homes, but never thought to apply his eye for space to his own. Over the years, his living room became what he called a museum of memories. 5 chairs, only 2 of which were ever used. A mahogany coffee table so large it made walking through the room a calculated maneuver. Cabinets that held nothing but old photo albums and trinkets he hadn't looked at in years. At first it felt cozy, familiar, but slowly it became something else. Cleaning was a chore, rearranging became impossible, and most of all, it started to feel like a trap. One day his daughter visited and said something that stopped him in his tracks. "Dad, why does it feel like you're living in a furniture store?" It was meant lightly, but it struck deep. That night, David sat in his living room and just looked. Really looked, not with nostalgia, but with fresh eyes. He asked himself, what in this room is helping me live better? And what is just sitting here, doing nothing? That was the beginning. The recliner with the broken armrest, gone. The cabinet with sticky drawers he hadn't opened in a decade, donated. The oversized table that made vacuuming feel like an Olympic sport, gifted to a neighbor with a larger home. But more than the space he reclaimed, what David found was a sense of relief. A lightness, a room that felt like it could breathe again. And in that, so could he. The truth is, holding onto furniture that no longer serves us is like dragging around an anchor. We think it keeps us stable, grounded in memories, but often it just keeps us stuck. And as we age, the practical dangers grow too. Tripping hazards, reduced mobility, difficulty cleaning. Every extra piece of unused furniture is one more thing to work around, bump into, or stress about. Ask yourself, when was the last time you used that chair, that dresser, that end table stacked with magazines from 2004? If it's been years, maybe it's not helping you anymore. And yet, the bigger clutter battle for many isn't what we sit on, it's what we wear, or used to wear. Clothes are emotional. Every shirt has a story. Every dress holds a moment. Every pair of shoes once walked us through something meaningful. So we hold on to them. But here's the thing. Your closet should reflect who you are now, not who you were decades ago. Let me tell you about Nancy. She's 73, and for years her closet was like a time capsule. Dresses from weddings long past, suits from her corporate days, shoes that looked amazing but hurt within 10 minutes. Every morning she stood in front of that closet, overwhelmed, frustrated, stuck. "It's funny," she said, "I had a closet full of clothes but nothing to wear." So she decided to do something that scared her. She pulled everything out. Every blouse, every skirt, every jacket. She made 3 piles. One for what she loved and wore often, one for what didn't fit or wasn't comfortable, and one for just in case. That third pile, that was the hardest. Just in case she lost weight. Just in case someone invited her to a fancy party. Just in case she ever liked that itchy wool sweater. But then she realized something powerful. Just in case was keeping her frozen in fantasy. A fantasy that didn't match her real life. And the more she clung to that pile, the more frustrated she became. So slowly, bravely, she let it go. And what happened? Her mornings changed, her stress dropped. Getting dressed became simple, joyful. She no longer had to dig through old versions of herself to find the woman she was today. That's the gift of a decluttered wardrobe. It simplifies your day, it boosts your confidence. And here's something we don't talk about enough. it can help someone else. Because those clothes, someone out there needs them now. Instead of sitting in your closet for a future that may never come, they could be helping someone live their present with dignity and warmth. So how do you start? Ask yourself, have I worn this in the past year? Does it fit comfortably? Do I feel like myself when I wear it? If the answer is no, consider letting it go. And for those sentimental pieces, the wedding dress, the varsity jacket, the shoes from your child's graduation, try this. Take a photo of it. Create a memory album. Keep the moment, not the bulk. Remember, your wardrobe isn't just clothing. It's the first decision you make each morning. It sets the tone for your day. You deserve a closet that makes that decision easier and more joyful. So let's bring it all together. David and Nancy didn't declutter because someone told them to. They did it because they were tired of feeling weighed down, tired of tripping over the past, tired of waking up in a house that no longer supported their life today. And the reward? Freedom. Not just more space, but more mental space. More clarity, more ease. Imagine waking up, walking into a room that feels open and breathable. Imagine opening your closet and smiling because every option in there fits, feels good and reflects you. That's not just decluttering, that's liberation. The kind of motivation that doesn't come from quotes on a wall, but from senior wisdom learned through lived experience, from knowing that this next chapter of life deserves lightness, clarity, and joy. And if you've listened this far, I invite you to ask yourself this simple question. What's one thing, one chair, one shirt, that's taking up space in your life but no longer serving you? Start there, because each item you release opens up room for something better. Peace of mind, easier mornings, safer movement, or just a deep breath in a house that finally feels like home again. In the following chapter, we'll go beyond the visible clutter and dive into the quiet danger zones, your medicine cabinet and your bathroom drawers. Because sometimes the smallest bottles carry the biggest risks. If you found value in this message, the kind that comes from elderly reflections, from hard-earned life lessons, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's coming next. And if you're ready to continue this journey toward a simpler, freer home, the next chapter is ready when you are. We often talk about the clutter we can see, the bulky furniture, the overflowing closets. But some of the most dangerous clutter doesn't sit in your living room or draped from hangers. It hides in your bathroom cabinet, in drawers you rarely open, in boxes labeled just in case. And yet, these are the items that pose the greatest risks, not just to your peace of mind, but to your safety and health. You see, many seniors hold on to expired medications and forgotten toiletries, thinking they're harmless. But what if I told you that the pill bottle you haven't opened in 3 years might be doing more harm than good just by sitting there? What if that lotion, that old eye cream, those half-used prescriptions were silently adding stress or even danger to your daily life? Let's start with medications. They often come into our lives during moments of pain or healing, an injury, a surgery, a diagnosis. And once the moment has passed, we tuck the bottle away, thinking it might be useful again someday. But here's what many forget. Medications have a lifespan, and when that expires, so does their reliability. In fact, they can become inoffensive, or worse, harmful. And yet millions of older adults keep these bottles on their shelves out of habit, comfort, or fear that they may need them again. Take Robert, for example. He's 76, a retired school principal who prides himself on order. His house is neat, his garage is labeled. But one day, while searching for a bandage, he opened his bathroom cabinet and saw something that made him pause. Bottles, boxes, prescriptions from doctors he hadn't seen in a decade, medications for conditions he no longer had, half-used antibiotics, expired painkiller. He stood there and realized, I wouldn't eat expired food. Why am I keeping expired medicine? It's a fair question, because holding on to old medicine is like keeping an outdated fire extinguisher. It might look useful until you actually need it. Then it could let you down, or worse, cause harm. The body changes with age. What was prescribed to you at 60 might not be safe at 70. Dosages evolve, interactions become more complex. And by keeping that expired medication just in case, we're inviting confusion into moments that should require clarity. In an emergency, will you grab the right bottle? Will you remember the dosage? Or might you reach for something outdated because it was the first thing you saw? Robert decided to do what many people delay for years. He gathered every medication in his house. He checked expiration dates. He created 2 piles, one for what was current and prescribed, and another for everything else. He consulted his pharmacist for proper disposal. When he finished, his cabinet had gone from a chaotic pharmacy to a clear, safe space. And the relief? Unexpected. He later told his daughter, "I didn't realize how much noise it added to my mind. Just seeing all those bottles every morning. And it's not just medication. Look into your bathroom drawers. You may find toiletries that haven't been touched in years. Old creams, serums, sunscreen. Perfume bottles half full, lipsticks dried out in tubes. Many people assume these items don't expire. But the truth is, they do. And after a certain point, they can irritate the skin, clog pores, or even lead to infection. The problem isn't always what they do to your body. It's what they do to your routine. The clutter builds. The choices overwhelm. You fumble through 5 half-used products to find the one you actually need. Your day begins not with simplicity, but with subtle friction. And friction over time wears down more than just patience. It chips away at your peace. Take a lesson from Evelyn, 74. She had 3 drawers in her master bathroom. One filled with makeup, one filled with lotions, one filled with things she couldn't even identify anymore. It wasn't until her granddaughter came to visit and asked for sunscreen that she realized she didn't trust any of it. "I kept thinking I'd use them," she said. "But truthfully, I was afraid of them." So she did something powerful. She emptied all 3 drawers onto the bathroom floor. Item by item, she evaluated each one. Was it used in the past year? Was it still effective? Did it bring comfort or anxiety? By the end, she kept just a handful of products. Moisturizer, toothpaste, a hairbrush. The rest she let go, and her mornings transformed. "I used to dread getting ready," she said. "Now it takes me 5 minutes, and I actually smile while doing it." That's the gift of simplicity. It doesn't just save time, it brings joy back to routines you once rushed through. So take a moment, open that cabinet, ask yourself, do I trust what's in here? Do I even remember when I got it? If the answer is no, it might be time to say goodbye. Not with guilt, but with gratitude. Those items served a purpose, but their time has passed, and yours super. Think about it. How many drawers do you have filled with old documents? Stacks of unopened mail? Manuals for appliances you no longer own? Bills from utilities you haven't used since 1998? Many seniors keep paper because they fear letting go of something important. What if I need this warranty? What if I get audited? What if this is a receipt I'll need someday? But here's the hard truth. 90% of the papers we keep are never touched again. They don't serve a purpose. They serve anxiety. Barbara, 74, had a filing cabinet the size of a refrigerator in her den. In it were tax records, utility bills, receipts, cards, statements, and handwritten notes dating back to the Reagan era. She didn't think of it as clutter, she thought of it as security. But then one day, she needed her insurance information, and it took her 45 minutes to find it. She had to dig through old envelopes, faded pages, documents she couldn't even remember filing. That was the wake-up call. She realized that her paper system wasn't protecting her. It was hiding what mattered under what didn't. She spent a weekend going through every folder, every drawer, every file. Her rule was simple. If it wasn't legal, medical, or financially vital, and if it could be accessed online, it was shredded. Receipts? Gone. Warranty for a toaster she no longer owned? Recycled. Letters she hadn't read in 20 years? Scanned and saved digitally. The result? A sleek binder of important documents. A digital folder on her computer, and more importantly, a mental sigh of relief. Paper clutter does more than take up space. It signals to the brain that there's unfinished business. Every time you pass that pile of mail on the kitchen counter, you think, I should handle that. But you don't. And it sits. And each time you see it, the thought repeats, and your stress rises. Little by little, one quick tip. Create a system. Use an inbox tray once a week sorted into 3 groups. Action, file, and toss. The key is to stay current, because once it builds, it overwhelms. And once it overwhelms, it paralyzes. So here's the takeaway. Your bathroom cabinet and your paper drawers may seem harmless, but they hold more than items. They hold emotional weight. They whisper, you're behind. You should deal with this. And that whisper becomes noise. But the good news, you have the power to turn down the volume, to clear what's expired, to keep only what matters, to reclaim not just space, but peace. Remember, you're not decluttering for the sake of a prettier home. You're decluttering for easier mornings, for safer routines, for clarity that helps you feel capable, prepared, and calm. That's senior health at its finest. That's elderly wisdom at its most practical. And that's why this matters. As we move into the final chapter of this journey, we'll explore two categories that stir the deepest emotions. The ones that tug at your heart more than your hand. We're talking about sentimental items, old keepsakes, gifts, souvenirs, and kitchen clutter. The gadgets you never used, the dishes for guests who never came. What comes next is the most personal, and perhaps the most powerful chapter of all. So if this spoke to you, if these stories felt familiar, leave a comment and share the one drawer or paper stack you're finally ready to face. Like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and then join us for the final chapter, where we'll find closure, courage, and freedom in the things we thought we couldn't let go of. Some forms of clutter are obvious, others are subtle, some are inconvenient, others are quietly overwhelming. But the final two categories we'll explore today, your kitchen and your sentimental items, carry a weight that goes beyond logic. These are the things that whisper, just in case, and remember when. The things we hold on to not because we need them, but because letting go feels like losing a part of ourselves. But what if I told you that clearing these spaces isn't about forgetting the past, but finally giving yourself permission to live fully in the present? Let's begin in the kitchen. For many seniors, the kitchen is a symbol of family, of tradition, of meals that brought people together. It's also a magnet for accumulation. Dishes you haven't used in years, appliances that once excited you, but now collect dust. Drawers full of plastic lids with no matching containers. Spices long expired, multiple sets of everything, just in case. But what happens when just in case turns into never again, and all that clutter starts working against you? Meet George, 77, a retired postal worker and devoted grandfather. His kitchen once buzzed with activity. He hosted dinners, baked cookies with his grandkids, cooked holiday feasts. Over the years, though, things changed. The grandkids grew up. His back started aching more often. He cooked less and ordered out more. But the kitchen, it stayed the same. Crammed, overfilled, the cabinets packed so tightly that every time he needed a pan, he had to pull out 3 others just to reach it. Spices from 5 Thanksgivings ago sat in the back of the pantry. A bread maker he'd used once still took up half the counter. I kept thinking I'd need them again, he said. But the truth is, I didn't even remember half of what I owned. One evening, while trying to cook a simple meal, George knocked over a stack of baking trays and almost tripped. That was the aha moment. Not dramatic, not emotional, just annoying enough to spark change. He decided to go through his kitchen one cabinet at a time. His only rule? If he hadn't used it in the past 2 years and didn't plan to this year, it was time to let it go. The extra coffee mugs? Donated. The second blender? Gone. That set of fine china he was saving for a special occasion? He kept 2 plates and donated the rest. Because as he put it, every day I wake up is special now. Why not use the good plates? And that's the wisdom we often forget. You don't need a gourmet kitchen or 20 gadgets to prepare a good meal. You just need the essentials. A space that works for you. That's senior health in action. Simplifying so that cooking is easier, safer, and actually enjoyable. So go ahead. Open your drawers, your cabinets, be honest with yourself. How much of it are you using? How much is just taking up space you could reclaim for something better? Now we come to the hardest category of all, sentimental items. The old letters, childhood drawings, souvenirs from long past vacations, gifts from people no longer here. These are the things that feel sacred, and in many ways they are. But when they start filling closets, stacking in garages, spilling from boxes you haven't opened in years, they stop being blessings and start becoming burdens. Let me introduce you to Helen, 79. Widowed, quiet, and deeply reflective. Her home was filled with boxes labeled and unlabeled tucked under beds, stacked in closets, lining the garage walls. There were letters from high school sweethearts, birthday cards from her children when they were young, a collection of travel brochures from trips she never got to take. Every box held a memory, she said. Chip and look at them. She wasn't exaggerating. One day, while moving something in her closet, the boxes tumbled over. As she sat surrounded by a pile of the past, she had a realization. I'm not honoring these memories by hiding them in cardboard. Some days she only managed a handful of items before the emotions were too much. But each time she asked herself, does this bring me joy or guilt? Is this item helping me remember someone I love? Or is it making me afraid to let go? That's the key, because memories don't live in objects. They live in us, in our hearts, in our stories, in the way we speak about those we've lost. Helen kept a wedding photo of her and her husband. She kept her daughter's childhood drawings. She kept a postcard her sister had sent from Italy. Everything else she let go. Some she donated. Others she scanned and saved digitally, but most of it she thanked and saved digitally. But most of all she thanked and released. I didn't feel like I was throwing away memories, she said. I felt like I was making room for the ones I want to keep close. That's the shift. Sentimental clutter tricks us into thinking we'll lose the past if we let go. But the truth is, the past is already part of us. We carry it. It shaped us. And we honor it not by hoarding it, but by living fully in the space it leaves behind. So if you're facing a closet filled with boxes you haven't opened in years, ask yourself, are these things honoring the people I loved? Or are they preventing me from fully living now? Do I need 20 cards to remember my mother's handwriting? Or just one? Can I let the memory live inside me instead of inside a dusty box? There's no rush, no timeline. This part of decluttering is the most personal, the most emotional, and it deserves tenderness. But don't let fear stop you from experiencing what's waiting on the other side. Freedom, peace, the lightness of knowing your home now reflects your life today, not just the life you used to live. So let's bring everything full circle. We've talked about furniture that no longer fits your needs, clothes that no longer reflect who you are, medications and products that may no longer be safe, paperwork that only clutters your mind, kitchen tools you never use, and now the emotional weight of sentimental items. Each category comes with its own challenges, but they all share one thing in common. When you let go, you gain so much more than space. You gain clarity, calm, ease, and perhaps most importantly, you gain ownership of the life you're living now. At this stage of life, you deserve a home that supports you, that nurtures you, that reflects your wisdom, your growth, your values. A home that's easier to clean, safer to walk through, simpler to enjoy. You've earned that. Through decades of hard work, love, sacrifice, and resilience, you've earned the right to live light. And if you're still here listening, I know this message has found a place in your heart. So here's my gentle nudge. Don't wait. Choose one category, one drawer, one box, one item, and begin. Begin not because you have to, but because you deserve to. And because, as so many of our elderly reflections have shown, sometimes the greatest gift we give ourselves is letting go. If this series inspired you to reflect, to release, to reclaim your space, I invite you to leave a comment with "finished" and share one thing you let go of or one thing you plan to. Your story might be the very encouragement someone else needs. If you haven't yet, please like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications to stay connected with this growing community of seniors, storytellers, and seekers of peace. Your support helps us bring more life lessons from the elderly, more senior motivation, and more inspiration to homes around the world. Thank you for joining us. Here's to less clutter, more freedom, and a home that finally feels like you.